Welcome to the Ugly Truth Sideshow with Jamie and Stephanie. So the Sideshow is essentially reality TV, our recaps on what we're watching. So you and I together are watching Alone, season 11. I think there's been 5 episodes now.
Yes.
And I didn't give us our little printout grid, but it's fine.
That's okay. I can remember them.
Yeah.
There's only 7 or 6 left now.
Yeah, there's 6 left because, so we didn't talk about it, but last week, Dusty tapped.
He was the white guy with kind of grape, salt, pepper hair.
I'm talking about the guy that he had subtitles.
Well, and he tapped because he
was constipated.
Yeah.
He said he hadn't pooped in 10 days and it was becoming an issue.
It was an issue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which it is an issue. We've seen it in other seasons where they start eating birch bark, hoping that it'll push through things and then it makes it worse.
Yeah.
And so then they're like, I might have an obstruction.
I don't even think they showed him eating birch bark.
No. They didn't.
He was just in pain. His stomach hurt really bad.
10 days
is so long.
That is doctor visit for
sure.
So he had to go.
And if you were at home, you'd be drinking Metamucil.
I was really sorry. I was sad to see him go because he was really thriving.
He was. And honestly, if not for that, I think he would have done great.
Oh, for sure. He would have gone very long time.
Yeah.
And then we have Michaela tapped this last week. She was the indigenous woman who was the wolf tracker.
Right.
And we were briefly talking about it before we started recording that I loved her. I did too. Really liked her. And what I liked about, I loved her story, how she's like, I couldn't wait to get out of the rural areas. I went to the most urban college I could find. I just wanted to have nothing to do with it. I wanted to be completely a city girl. And then she immediately had a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
Months into, well, I think it was longer than that. But she goes, so then I went home. I recovered after she had had treatment. And then she completely overhauled her life. She just basically embraced who she was and that she was much happier living with their indigenous family and community.
Yeah.
And you know what I find fascinating about this show is that now, because they find so many skilled people, they're so skilled,
all of them,
that it's a mental game.
It really is for the most part, or injury or illness will take you no matter what. That's like true. The other guy, the guy you don't like. Is his name Jackson? No,
Jake.
What's his name?
Jake.
Yeah, he burned his hand.
Okay,
washing his underwear.
I will tell you this. First of all, Michaela setting the fish free, I knew she was going home.
Knew, yeah.
I'm like, oh.
She's like, be free, be free.
And she's just like,
I should be eating this with joy, and I'm not.
I was like, but I do like her poetic.
I loved her.
Ethereal ways.
I just thought it was cute. And, it's like the longer I watch the show, the more seasons I watch, you start to see the signs.
You do.
Yeah.
Because what's cool about that is that our human brain is basically the same.
Yeah.
We all kind of respond the same when we're going through something. We all kind of go through the same thought process, which I thought was really cool. Anyway, what I liked about it, though, is that she was feeling herself becoming affected by her depression. And she's like, I got to get out of here.
She's like, I don't want to go back to where I was before.
And she was anxious. You could see it on her face. And so she was so happy to see a human face.
Yeah.
When they came for her.
Well, I mean, and the other thing is like they all dread tapping, but then as soon as they do,
they're relieved.
Their face is like relieved.
It's so relieved.
It's immediate. They're like, I could wait hours for them to come and I'm happy, but it only takes about 45 minutes according to come and get them. Yeah, the guy that was worried about being sick.
It's so interesting to...
Oh, no, the guy who almost choked on a fishbone.
Oh, God.
I think that was the same guy that ended up tapping.
Yes.
He's like, yeah, if you're out here, let's just be honest. If I choke on this fishbone, I'm done. No one's coming to get me in time.
I love him so much, and I'm so bummed that he had to tap because of illness. But you know what? I think...
There's nothing he could have done.
He has a YouTube channel. We can watch him all day if we want.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Well, they all do, but he does. Anyway, so... so Jake is still hanging in there. And the reason that I've struggled with Jake specifically is I don't know how much you watched or heard, but he was very vocal about how his divorce just wrecked him financially.
Did. Oh, I don't know. I didn't hear the financially part. Yes. He just said he was in a dark place.
He was wiped out. Oh, okay. And, the divorce, so he had to like rethink his whole life and all this stuff. And he does have his 2 children and all that stuff. So he goes out here. All I see is a man who relied on someone else to do all the things for him so that he could do what he wanted. For example, he's like, well, I forgot my gloves. Well, I lost my fishing line. Well, I burned myself.
Oh, he's one of those guys.
He's got so many fucking excuses.
Well, maybe he's a narcissist.
I don't know. All I know is that he's like, I'm so mad that I can't remember anything. I'm like, well, maybe you have ADHD. and you need to take a pill so you can stop blaming other people for the fact that you forgot everything.
Well, there's no one to blame
and
out there.
Hurting yourself because you're careless. And I don't think for a second he's not skilled. He absolutely is.
Yeah, he is.
But this constant onslaught of, I forgot, I don't remember, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'd divorce you too. Honestly, you're the most annoying man I've ever seen in a really long time.
Well, so now I'll have a different perspective on him because I don't
understand. Want you to if you like him.
I don't like him. I didn't have a feeling one way or another about him. You and I look at the show very different. I'm looking at it from are they going to make the long term? Are they going to be?
He's not.
Yeah, I don't think
he's going to kill himself.
Well, he just keeps getting hurt too many times, right? And so
I forgot that the lid would be hot, and I burned myself. And it's like, oh, I've never had a 3. That is not a 3-degree burn, you big baby.
3rd degree, it's 2nd degree.
Stop it.
Yeah, no.
Yes, you have blisters. It's horrible.
Well, it hurts.
And then complaining about the pain. I'm like, honestly, he's like, I've stopped being a baby. I go, you need to stop being a pussy. Jesus. Wrap it.
He did.
Finally. And I'm like, oh, I need ice. And I'm like, oh, God. Okay. You're never going to make it.
He's not going to make it. Yeah. I already know he's not going to make it. And how ironic will it be if he wins? Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. No. Please, no. And then I only have one other thing. It's not a concern, but the only other thing that I thought was a bit questionable, but I kind of have been wavering on it, is the other guy. And Timber kills the moose.
Yes.
And that's a huge deal.
It was 1,200 pounds.
It's unbelievable the amount of food that he downs.
Well, I give the guy mad props for staying and working for 12 hours.
I mean, he had to. He had no choice. He's like, if I'm going to do this, I have to do it.
Absolutely, yeah.
So he did it. And, I'd be afraid of predators as well. For sure. Because they'll snatch that right out of your face.
Well, now he's smoking all that meat.
Yes, he is.
Because I was like, how do you preserve that much meat?
When it's 50 degrees out. Yeah, it'll spoil.
Definitely.
I was reading in the forum, the Alone forum, because there's a lot of hunters and a lot of the participants are in there as well to answer questions and stuff.
Right.
Without spoiling anything. And so apparently a lot of hunters are saying it is very common to hang meat that you've hunted for a long time. Yeah. It's aging it.
I did not know.
It will not rot necessarily. I have seen when they will hang deer meat and let it quote unquote age, there will be a mold on it, but you cut that part off.
It's kind of like cheese. Yeah.
It can be, but but the temperatures have to be right. It can't be raining.
Well, and that's the thing is these people know what they're doing.
They do. They do.
They know all.
And the smoker was brilliant.
It really was.
And
now that guy, and he's got a great shelter, and
he's doing great.
He's really physically fit, and
so initially I was concerned about how warm the weather is. I'm like, but you know what? If you are given the opportunity, you freaking take it. You don't. Yeah.
Oh, you mean the moose?
Yes.
Well, he won't have to do anything now. He can literally focus on his shelter.
The only thing he has to worry about is predators trying to come and get it.
And they did show
the bear.
Yeah,
I saw that.
So I don't know if that's going to be this is what I left, and I knew it was going to get.
I hope
eaten.
he drug it miles away from.
Yeah, I would be so scared of a fucking grizzly bear
or a wolf, Stephanie.
Jamie, grizzly bears kill people all the time.
I know. I'm terrified of the
scary.
Whole thing. The whole idea, the one guy who woke up, Isaac, who I'm not a huge fan of either. I think he's making his shelter a little too large. I think he's going to end up going home.
Is he the guy that was like, oh no, he's the one that has Timber. He was the one that was standing. He was like, I'm standing in my fortress.
That's Isaac.
Oh, it was. Okay.
Yeah, he's doing this giant cabin.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? Giant cabins never work out.
Because they're cold.
Well, not only that, but you spend so much energy building them. By the time you're finished, you're like, I don't feel good because I haven't eaten in 7 days.
Right.
Because I've been building this shelter because he's so afraid of wolves.
Yeah.
And so.
He is.
Which I mean.
Well, the one night they were like,
same. Oh. He's like, I don't know how close they are. And I'm like, you're a park ranger. Don't you know? But whatever.
You get weird out there.
Oh my God.
Everybody thinks they can be isolated and they're fine. But when you're living with a camera and that's it.
If I was in a house by myself for 90 days, I'd be afraid of intruders. Jamie, I would never do it.
I am telling you, this world that we live in is so crazy.
I would never, ever go out in the wild of the Arctic.
Well, it's funny that you and I watch a show and that we're so into a show like Alone because we would never.
I have no skills.
I have no skills.
And I don't have the mental capacity or I don't have the mental health to do it either.
I can't even eat at
I think I would be fine.
A crappy restaurant. And I'm like, it smells in here.
I always think that I could handle the mental strain, But I don't think I could, frankly. I'd probably turn I'd turn an inanimate object into something I could talk to.
Well, people have done that.
They do it. Wilson, all the time, people. Like, that's a normal thing.
Yeah, people have done it.
I've seen those people, those contestants talk to corpses of rabbits.
Oh my, yeah.
And they'll stuff them and they'll talk to them. Yeah. I mean, but you know what? Do what you got to do to get through,
that
right?
Was so horrible. I am so exhausted.
Yeah. So honestly,
agree.
I'm like,
how weird was it that the other girl, not Michaela, but the other lady that's on it.
I can't remember
her name right now, but she's actually really good.
Leia or something.
But anyway, she was like doing something in the woods. Oh, she was foraging mushrooms.
Yes.
And the next thing you know, like this weasel kills a rabbit right next to her.
Oh, that was Michaela.
Was it Michaela?
Yes.
And she's like, look, oh, it was. You're right.
Like,
That was earlier. Yeah.
I was given a rabbit.
But it was like when she was like, wait, what is that? It was all
yes.
And I was like, oh my God, what's happening?
I thought her snare got it. But an animal killed it and heard her and it ran away. And I'm like, okay, listen, I'm all about the indigenous spiritual culture, right? Frankly.
I would be afraid to get rabies. But.
And she was given a squirrel liver out of nowhere. And then the earth gave her a rabbit. And I'm like, honestly,
she had a fish in her net.
I'll be honest with you. I think there's something to it. I mean, she was like being given gifts all the time.
Yeah.
Honestly, where was Mother Oak telling her? You will understand. And I'm like, I want to be her.
God, excuse me. I can't laugh anymore these days. I've damaged my lungs so much over the course of my life.
You would make it out there in the wilds of the Arctic Circle.
No. First of all, the fact that they clean these animals, I'm like, I couldn't do it.
There's so many things they do. I'm so impressed with the skill set.
The grouses, like he's all pulling the feathers out, like,
and he plucked the head clean off. I'm just like, I watch the show because they do things I would never do. I mean, and frankly, I don't know how long I would last in the Little House on the Prairie days.
4 hours.
I couldn't be a pioneer.
Who's the guy? I think it's the same
never
guy.
Make it.
So it was the guy that killed the moose that was also the guy that was... Oh, no. This guy was the fisherman.
Jake?
Was it? No. Oh. The one that was telling the story about how he took every dime he had and he enrolled in a fish derby and he won. And he's like, I was going to have to recycle cans to put gas in my car to get home.
I don't
He's like, if I couldn't...
One.
And he made the trigger pole, like he like pulled and it like... And then he was also throwing...
that's the Canadian.
Yeah, what's that dude's
Was he the one sunning his balls? The naked guy?
I think so. Was that
cool.
the guy?
Yeah, he's really cool.
Okay, yeah. I hated that part, by the way. But
well, who wants that?
Gross.
Nobody wants to see balls.
Yeah.
Well, luckily we didn't get to see it, but it was not ideally great. But
it was gross. But
somebody in the comments talked about that. And they're like, you know what? In the military, they tell you that if you can't shower, that's what you do.
Well, I think
because the sun will kind of cleanse
wet.
you.
He was saying he was wet, and he's like, the last thing you want to do is be moist.
Yes.
Oh my God, I just said it. Holy fuck, that just came right out. But that's the only really word to describe because then you get chafed, and then you can get rashes. and then you're uncomfortable. It's just not a good thing to be wet. And you have to
keep those paws dry.
Yeah, you really do.
She even said that. Remember when Michaela was getting? Was she the one that was putting
charcoal on her toes?
Yes, because they were getting wet.
I mean, honestly, I was watching that scene and I didn't say anything, but Jerry's over like, "That's disgusting. We don't want to see this." And I'm like,
I know.
Okay,
but I will say, I don't know if you saw the extra scene where she was being checked out at base camp. Okay, so there was a scene after the credits.
After she got picked up?
So after the credits, there was an extra scene.
Oh.
And so it was her.
Ran away.
So they show base camp. And it's a very elaborate setup.
Yeah, I've seen the base camp.
It looks like a little city.
Yeah.
So she's being checked out by the med. And they're like, well, why did you? She goes, honestly, mentally, I couldn't do it anymore. I had to go. I miss being around people. And I just really need community. And they're like, oh, okay. And he's like, is there anything? He goes... Because she was really anxious. He goes, I can see that you're really anxious. He goes, I want you to relax. You're safe now. I'm going to get crushed. She was so...
Well, I guess I need to watch it. I didn't watch it.
And he's like, is there anything... He goes, you're in really good shape. He's like, is there anything that you're worried about? And she goes, just my mental health. She goes, oh, wait, and my feet. And he goes, oh, do you think you might get trench foot? She goes, yeah. So
they get wet.
They didn't show anything. Thank God.
Well, they did show her when she was putting it on her toes.
They did, because she was really worried about it. But they did. So they just started their blood pressure, and then that was pretty much it. So from what I understand, is there is an Alone podcast where they interview. I haven't listened to it.
I haven't either, but they were advertising the crap out of it.
I want to listen to hers specifically. I'm really looking forward to hearing it. So I don't know if she's done hers yet, but I'm looking forward to hearing her. I'm going to start following her on social media. I really like her. I know she's a little hippy dippy for some, but I really like her. So I'm going to follow her. Yeah. And it might be because she's so honest about her mental health that I like it.
Maybe.
And she was so freaking skilled.
She looks so young.
I think she is young.
I think they're all like in their 30s. I don't think any of them are super old.
I don't think there's any 50-year-olds this year. I think they're in their 40s.
Yeah.
Maybe that guy, the naked guy, might be old.
He's older of all of them.
Yes.
But anyway, I think Timber has a good chance if he keeps up with the Moose and all.
And they haven't shown Dub at all.
They showed him a little today, or on the 5th, but very little.
They basically showed him saying, "I in good conscience couldn't down a large game animal right now because it's so warm." Yeah. As they're showing Timber breaking down a moose.
Right.
So
are they going to make him eat those words?
I don't know, but that was kind of my thought. I'm like, gosh, it's so warm and so early. But you know what? Your next day is not guaranteed. So you kind of have to take the shot. Yeah. Is the way I look at it.
Of course, I immediately felt bad for the moose.
Well, I did too.
Oh, but that other guy that we were talking about, the one that was fishing with the, that guy, he had his club, and so every time he kept catching fish,
and then he was like
beating it, and it was like, I can't watch this anymore. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, so I would close my eyes whenever he would.
I don't like, in fact, I told Daryl, I go, do you hit them with clubs when you catch them? He's like, well, yeah.
Yeah, that's how you kill them.
And I'm like, I don't like that.
Joel did it too. The first time I saw it, I was like, brutal.
I don't know which contestant it is. It could have been, it wasn't Timber. I don't know who it was, but somebody literally like practically decapitated it the second they got out of the thing. So it was like a very fast death.
I prefer that.
Me too. Okay, so we only have a couple of minutes, but really quick. Have you watched?
No.
I don't even know what I'm going to say.
You're going to ask me if I watched The Bachelor.
No.
Oh.
I can't watch The Bachelor.
I haven't. Yeah.
It's so bad.
Or The Bachelorette or whatever it's called. Okay.
I'm not. I can't do it.
Okay, good. Because I was like, I haven't watched anything else.
Have you watched the DCC documentary on Netflix?
I just started it the other day, and it was
7 episodes.
It was immediately good, and I'm like, oh no, I can't watch this right now because it was in a distracting environment, and I really was like, no, but I plan to watch it when we're done recording today. I think I told you today is literally my only day off.
Here's the problem with it's not a bad problem. Here's the thing though, is like no, it's very good actually.
Because I love the show.
That's the thing. If you were a big fan of the one that was on CMT, you'll love it. I don't like the people they necessarily profile, but I think they were just trying to get a variety. Honestly, I don't think there was no. Now, Netflix is very good at telling you, like, this is the gist of what we got from this organization. It might make some people uncomfortable, but the reality is that the DCC brand is entertainment. Yeah. It is in Texas. It is being owned by a billionaire. So there are things about it that are just, quote unquote, the ugly truth. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And the women that try out for this team are aware of the vibe, of what the expectations are, everything.
Yeah,
so
totally.
To think that these professional women are going into this organization not knowing what they're getting into,
no,
they know exactly what they're getting into. And it has nothing to do with race.
It's all about the payoff for them.
For some. And then, based on, even when we were watching it on CMT.
Not the money, I mean.
No, I know what you're saying.
Having it on your resume is like no fucking, yeah.
But the reality is that if you watched, I think it was like 15 seasons of it on CMT, the bottom line is that there are some women who are just unwilling to give up their dance career, so they continue and they pursue as long as humanly possible. And if they're really, really good, then they're going to go professional. Yeah. NFL, DCC is number one, right? There's just nobody else.
Right.
So there's that.
It's the ultimate achievement.
There are other women who grew up in Texas and they've been fans their whole life and they've been preparing for this moment. Then there's the legends, there's the legacies, their moms are DCCs, and they really focus on that. So there's a lot of really cool aspects to it. I just think that there were a lot of new watchers who did not watch the original.
Why? Was there criticism about it?
A lot of criticism about, and I'm like, you're talking like these women don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
That bothers me a little
like they're
bit.
being taken advantage of somehow?
Yes.
No.
Because they're just, and here's Charlotte, who's the president of the DCC part.
Yes.
And her dad is the owner. She does not look great in this.
Really?
No. And I concur.
She was very thin last time.
It's not about physical.
Oh, it's the way she comes across.
She's very like,
well, perhaps
she's like, these women are grateful and they're happy. She goes, yes, there's a pay disparity, but they're grateful to be here. And I'm like, grateful don't pay the mortgage, baby.
Yeah.
But okay. You know, and like one of the veterans who is longer.
Maybe Netflix was like, let's just let her talk.
That's exactly what they did. And that's fine. And I will say this, Kelly and Judy love their dancers. They're very loyal to their ladies, their women. And I don't care what anybody says. They really love and protect those women. Yeah, and a lot of people were like, oh, man. I'm like, don't be spurch. They know what they're doing with these women and they treat them that way. And they are working within the parameters of the organization and they protect them.
Yeah.
I mean, are they perfect? No. But I mean,
no, of course not. But
do they have favorites? Yeah. Well, they're women. They're people. They're humans.
They're people.
Personalities. Yeah. You know, it is what it is. Yeah. But anyway, so you will like it though. I loved it. I can't wait
to watch it. I'm really excited.
I loved it.
Yeah, I'll love it.
I really loved it.
I'll love it.
Really nice perspective, and God, they finally put some money behind it.
That's what I was looking forward to. As soon as I started watching the first. I was like, oh, good. It's well produced. There's money. I'm like, okay, I can totally get into this.
The filming was amazing. I'm like,
I need my bed and a drink and alone time.
The only thing is, it's hard to binge because every episode's almost over an hour.
Oh fuck yeah!
That's the problem.
Well, even if I can get a couple in today, I'll be happy.
Oh God, I binged it in 2 days.
Yeah.
Well, I did everything.
Damn, I work so fucking much.
I know. I was watching. I think at one point, Daryl's like, "Are you coming to bed?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I just one more episode.
I can do. In fact, when it gets late,
so
I can do earbuds on my phone. I literally will watch however I can. So yeah.
So that is reality TV, and it is great.
In a nutshell, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back probably in a few weeks to recap all of our Alone and all of our reality TV again. So thank you. Bye.